I'm Neringa Černiauskaitė.
And Ugnius Gelguda.
And together we're Pakui Hardware, a duo. This entirely new installation basically derived directly from our previous works and the previous installation specifically, which was kind of focusing on industrial robots and the automation. And later on we kept kind of researching and looking at how these industrial robots are being used in different industries and are being covered with different kind of materials, and there is specific kind of clothing being tailored for them, so to say. And so it was interesting to see how clothing become almost like a sculptural form, how these kind of metallic bodies are being protected from kind of hazard environments, from particles to paint and dust and stuff like that. So there are these kind of new industrial workers, so to say, with their new clothing. The show is called Creatures of Habit, but it refers both to us as humans as being creatures of habit that are so fixed on the idea of work and the idea of being employed and going to work and work as this kind of key social dogma almost, but also these creatures of habit that are these kind of new strange creatures that are being created now, this kind of transitory companions that we have now, these automated companions. And so we created these forms that in one way refer to industrial robots, but we kind of course modified them and made them looking more like anthropomorphic in a sense, and having strange kind of gestures or moves. And we made specific clothing for them as well from this kind of heavy-duty waterproof material that you usually find in industries or transport and logistics. But they're created as if they're both kind of uniforms and as sculptures in themselves. These clothings are put on iron kind of understructures, so it's kind of this kind of hard metallic body with more protective kind of gowns on them. And it's mixed with silicone a lot, which the silicone that is used specifically in prosthetics, in medicine. So it's this kind of a combination of something that is used for human, but also it's already kind of artificial extension of organic bodies. So it's playing with this organic synthetic anticipations, so to say, in these new species bodies, in a sense. And these sculptures or bodies, as you could say, are surrounded by, as we call them, like fueling stations, like small fueling stations, on top of which there are also these kind of silicone membranes that look also some kind of skin torn down from someone, or but also referring to this kind of protection and something that is very close to body. We're interested in prosthetics as both as kind of visual and material inspiration, but also as the notion of something that is both part of your body, but it's also already kind of covering that is something that is not there anymore. So it's both an extension and integration into your body. And it's interesting also kind of ideas from philosophical point of view, speaking of the fact that referring to Bernard Stiegler and his ideas about prosthetics and us being as prosthetic beings from the beginning, because we we don't have any kind of positive features such as sharp teeth or fur or anything, so we need to also refer to some kind of, or rely on externalized aid, some kind of technology. So we're kind of prosthetic in our essence. It's having some kind of a bit of a superfood, so it also referring to this kind of pressure of being very effective and productive, and this kind of fashion of having these superfoods everywhere. So it's now integrated in this silicone skins. We think of them as kind of characters that have their own kind of communication going on, and you're just surrounded by them, and it's kind of a occurring thing in our practice that we always create these kind of situations where the viewer is almost an alien in itself, because you always feel like there's something going on beside you, and there's something that you cannot enter or penetrate, and this was also kind of a situation that we also wanted to create. It's a bit uncanny sometimes, so it's kind of alluring and uncanny at the same time. This space of SIC specifically almost provoked us to make this installation and make more large-scale objects. I mean, we make large-scale installations, but in most cases, more the kind of architecture of the installation is bigger, but the objects are not extremely large. And this space, with all of this kind of environment, this kind of sublime cranes and harbors, it kind of inspired us to make something larger than ourselves, in a sense. And it was really the intention to have them a bit larger than you are. I mean, some of them are way larger, but the other pieces are a bit taller, so it's not having you looking at something that is lower, but it's as if you were being observed or watched by the graceful machines, as we know the phrase. Yeah, we read a lot, and both about from theoretical point of view about things like automation, also from very pragmatic point of view, what is going to happen and what is happening, but also then visually looking at, really sometimes admiring all this clothing that is being made. It's like a total lookbook of 2016 or something for the robotic gear.